Hey guys, Navin Prithyani here from Forex Watchers. Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about trend lines. Basically how to draw them really well, what are the misconceptions and what are the do's and don'ts of it, and how do I like to draw them. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Now, when you look at this chart, and if I were to tell you and you're sitting next to me and say, draw a trend line. Okay, 80% of you are going to be doing this. Okay? Some of you are going to be doing this. And some of you are going to be doing all sorts of stuff like this. Okay, now notice in all of this, what you're actually doing is mentally trying to connect something that it can satisfy your mind of that looks right, so it must be okay. Okay, and that's apparently this is the reason why I made this video, to have you stop doing that. You know, this is not the correct way to do it. It just basically means this is always going to be false, and the whole point is if it's always going to be false like that, what's the point of drawing it if you can't rely on it? Okay, so it's no point of, it's just avoid it. Now let's start off with some questions. Now, if I were to draw an uptrend line from here to here. Now, that is correct. However, I want you to ask yourself, is my trend line there, or is my trend line like that, where it goes through the tails and only to the body? Because look here, oh look, it looks like it connects also here, right? So that must be correct. But then here, it doesn't come to the body, it comes to the tails. Why do we ignore that now? Right? So there is a fine line of trend lines. Trend lines, just like I explained in my support resistance videos, they also work in zones. You want to use the tails and the bodies and get an idea of thereabouts. A trend line is never going to be that tool that you're going to be, the moment it hits the trend line, I'm going to hit the button for a buy or a sell. It just doesn't work like that. Okay, because a trend line itself cannot be accurate on its own. It's a supporting tool. It's an add-on. Okay, it's a confirmation tool if you want to put it. It's like an indicator almost. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now the markets are moving higher highs and stuff like that, and let's say I connect it from here to here. Now if I connect this one and I stretch it out, I can see that's a break right there. That's a break of my trend line. So what does that mean? Am I supposed to become a seller? Right? Isn't that a question that's coming into your mind? What's the purpose of a trend line? To show you the change in direction. So why is the direction not changing? Okay, so whenever you connect your trend lines, it must connect only when it moves away. Okay, for example, when I'm connecting, for example, this high to that high, how do I know I'm in an uptrend still? How do I know the next candle is going to go down? I know this candle is closed, but how do I know it's going to go down? Don't connect stuff that hasn't been established yet. Which means to say, in a way, a trend line is always going to be lagging. It's only going to tell you you can connect this after it moves away. Which means when the moment you connect it, you have no access to this trade, this area, but you might have access to something into the future. That gives a trend line a sort of a sought out tool for most people, because it's like looking into the future, like maybe it's going to give me an opportunity in the future. Okay, so if that's the case, you need to do it as well as possible to increase the odds of you possibly foreseeing the future in a safer way. Okay, so when it comes down to here, it tries to break it through, but then it starts to go back up, then it comes back down. It's like, what's it doing? Is it going to break it or not? And then it goes up and it tries to make a higher high and it closes up there. Unfortunately, this thing now has to extend. Now, when I extend it, do I extend it like that? Do I include him? Do I include his body? Do I include his tail? Again, all of those are correct because it's thereabouts. It's thereabouts. Okay, so you can extend it out and work with that. I'm gonna take the next one also. I'm going to use his bodies like that. Okay, and you can see how it comes down to here and holds and holds and holds and starts to go up. Now, here's an interesting tool that I want to give you guys. This is the way that we do it at Forex Watchers, and it might be different. Some of you guys might already do it. Again, whatever the case is, the goal here is to help you stop doing it the wrong way. So when you see a trend line break happening, for example, if I draw a downtrend just like that, okay, notice here the market goes up. Mentally we're thinking, oh man, the trend line broke, the trend line broke, get ready for buys. Here's the thing, the trend line's broken, but your support equals resistance is still intact. The flow hasn't changed yet. That is one thing I wanted to point out to you guys. Like I said, a trend line, just like support equals resistance, is a supporting tool. It is not the final ground. It's not the holy grail. Okay, it's a supporting tool which helps you monitor things. Now, here's one more thing that I'd like to tell you guys. If I see this uptrend coming in, and then what's my first area? Always read your trend lines left to right. Something you've been used to growing up all your life. Reading a book left to right. How many of you guys just open a book, glance at it, and close the book and says, oh, I know what it's doing. I know what they're trying to say. No, 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 you can't do that. You have to read it left to right to get all the details to understand. Oh, okay, that's what the story meant. You know? So same thing with trading. When you're reading charts, it's the same logic. Read it left to right, piece to piece. Okay, so when I connect this uptrend line, I go like this. I connect that, and then I extend it out, right? Now notice if I extend this out, the time the structure breaks and everything, we're more likely somewhere on this side, right? By the time the structure breaks and we're like, okay, well that's my sell. Do you notice the sell started long time ago? Right there. So why am I attempting sells really, really late? I'm really late to the party, right? So here's the thing that we like to do is say, when the market moves more aggressively, your trend lines should start to mimic the market and get more aggressive too, which is he moves from here to the next guy after he moves away. Don't connect it yet, but after he moves away. Okay, so then you can extend that out and start to foresee what's going on. That looks like, oh man, trend line's been broken there. All right, but support equals resistance hasn't been broken. He's still holding. So it's not really a structure break yet. Then he moves away, like, okay, so is that my trend line? He breaks through it. Oh yeah, man, trend line's been broken. I should prepare for sells. Wait a minute, support resistance is still holding. Okay, so then is that the guy? Now notice this time the highs are not getting higher. He's still struggling. And then this time the highs are able to get higher, like, aha, gotcha. That's the guy I want. You extend it out. Okay, now you're getting closer and closer to the turn. Okay, you don't want to come in late to the party. You want to get in as close to the party as possible. Now, the next question is, well, why didn't I draw it from here to there? Okay, why was I doing it from here still? Because that's the guy who was the most aggressive. And as you're going aggressive and aggressive, you're just tuning the aggression until you can get a closer response to the market. It's like, here's the difference. It's like driving just a Toyota Camry on the street and driving a Porsche 911. Okay, a supercar or a sports car, you can feel the road every bit of the way as it's going faster and faster. You can feel the ground. Okay, however, when you feel the ground, you know all the nooks and turns and everything of the road, and that's basically the general concept of this. You want to get close to the market as possible to feel the turn. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments below, and until on to the next video. Thanks.